Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, the series where I share my review and my opinion on different video games I've experienced. Today's video is about the magical land of Concrete Genie. Concrete Genie is an action-adventure puzzle game developed by Pixeloplus studio, which is a part of the PlayStation family. In 2019, the studio released Concrete Genie, which as of early 2022 is their latest product, with a confirmation that the studio is already working on their next untitled project. Seeing how the studio belongs to the PlayStation family, it goes without saying that the game was, and still is, a PlayStation-only exclusive. Upon its release, the game was received with positive criticism, various nominations, and the Family Game of the Year Award 2019. The game takes place in a beautiful port named Denska, a place that used to be filled with life and bright colors. However, an accident occurred that spilled oil tanks in the port, polluted the land and drove everyone away, leaving Denska's fate sinking into darkness. The game introduces the player to Ash, a young teenager who loves drawing on his sketchbooks. Despite his family's warnings to not approach Denska, Ash cannot keep himself away from it. Ash is always seemed lonely and he is often targeted by a group of bullies. One day, these bullies caught Ash by surprise and they discover his sketchbook, which they proceed to rip the pages off and letting their fate go out the wind. They proceed to lock Ash inside a cable car and takes him into the Denska's lighthouse, located in a small island outside of the main port. Upon arriving, Ash sees some of his pages, and so he chases into the lighthouse. The page consists of Luna, one of Ash's favorite creations. Luna comes to life and guides Ash to a magic paintbrush, which he will have to use in order to bring his drawings to life. The brush also allows Ash to create genies based on the art that Ash drew in the past when he was a young boy. Luna entrusts the brush to Ash with the hope that he will use it to clear the darkness of Denska, which will result in the resurrection of life in one's gorgeous port. However, back in Denska, the bullies are searching for him, and it goes without saying that when dealing with magical genies comes with its own drawbacks. The game's plot is really something out of a Disney movie that involves bullies and imaginary powerful friends. It does drop a bit to the cliché category, but for its length, it's still enjoyable. The game's basic core is platforming and avoiding the bullies. Ash can use his magical brush to paint on the walls. All the player has to do is to draw the brush and then use the tilt mechanics of the controller in order to paint on the walls. The game has Ash's tiered pages flying around on the map, which consists of certain drawings that Ash can get and use them to graffiti on the walls. The player can always relocate their brush by repressing triangle. Eventually, Ash will draw his genies that will follow him around to help him along the way with puzzles and many other. Ash's goal is to paint the walls with the light bulbs, as they will unlock further maps. Eventually, Ash will come across the shadow walls that prevent his genies from following him. To deal with that, Ash will have to use the super brush to break through their darkness. Super brush can be accessed by simply doing the genie's request, such as paint them the thing they are requesting in their speech bubble. Without saying much, the last chapter of Ash's adventure adds compact to the game, which was surprisingly smooth and very welcomed. The game has 3 types of collectibles: all the pages that Ash lost, which includes genie designs and wall art designs. The second collectible is the wall paintings themselves. Around the maps, there are small drawings of genies doing something. The player will have to locate them and bring at least one genie near the location in order for it to show what that picture depictions, and Ash will have to use the same items on where the genies are placing them. Last but not least, around Denska, there are 5 old signs that depict something that used to be of Denska. The player will have to recreate that same sign with his new art in order for Ash to bring some memories back. Overall, Concrete Genie is a real nice and interesting game. Although small, the story is simple and effective, but it does feel kind of cliché as mentioned, as certain plot points were to be expected. The character of Ash is really good and stays consistent throughout his adventure. The gameplay is simply unique, as not many developers use the controller's tilt mechanics as their main game mechanic. The platforming feels realistic, as Ash cannot just jump out of rooftops and not break his legs. The graphics of the game are breathtaking. There is nothing more satisfying than drawing a cherry blossom and watch it grow into the beautiful tree. It's up to the player's creativity to draw whatever they like, except when a genie requests something specific. Another thing worth mentioning is the game stays consistent with the player's drawings. For example, if the player draws a red tulip on a certain wall, that tulip will remain there throughout the entire game unless the player deletes it. Every painting will remain there and will appear in every cutscene throughout the game. The game also offers a free mode where the player can draw anything at any point, and in VR mode, which I cannot describe as I personally never had a VR set, so I cannot say what the VR experience is all about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. For more information, do check my website, links down below. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!